Returning now to one of our top stories today, President Trump urging Republicans to move forward with a bill to end the partial government shutdown without support from Democrats to get airport security lines moving once again. CBS News' Shawna Mizelle is at Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, where travelers there are facing hours-long waits to board their flights.
Travelers at major airports captured fresh headaches on their phones as security lines snaked through terminals.
We're so apprehensive. We don't want to miss a flight.
Wait times at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston are regularly exceeding 4 hours, with only a third of screening lanes operational.
We came 5 hours before just to be on time.
On Wednesday alone, almost 40% of the TSA staff in Houston who aren't getting paid failed to show up for work.
It's pretty much a disaster, especially financially.
Many, like Greg Jones, are bracing for a second missed paycheck Friday if Congress doesn't reach a deal.
We're political pawn pieces or something. It feels like all of our lives are being messed with.
Houston airport officials are expecting even more passenger traffic through Friday with big events in town. They are warning travelers to give themselves extra time and remain flexible.
I understand, why it's taking so long because they're not getting paid, so I'm not going to work for free. I don't expect them to. During
a cabinet meeting Thursday, President Trump once again blamed Democrats for the stalemate and called on Senate Republicans to terminate the filibuster.
They need to end the shutdown immediately, or we'll have to take some very drastic measures.
Senate Republicans say they've sent a last and final offer to Democrats.
We're not going to be able to get DHS open with Democratic votes.
Democrats have been pushing for more reforms to ICE to agree to a deal. Shawna Mizelle, CBS News, Houston.
And joining me now with more on this is President and CEO of Airlines for America and former New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. Chris, thank you for being with us.
You bet.
There's so much to get through here. TSA officers now are on track to miss their second paycheck tomorrow. And in an open letter to Congress from you and 9 other aviation CEOs, you write, quote, "It's difficult, if not impossible, to put food on the table, put gas in car, and pay rent when you are not getting paid." So can you walk us through the impact that you're hearing this is having on TSA workers?
Oh, it's exactly what you think it would be. The average TSA worker gets paid about $35,000 a year. So when you're living effectively paycheck to paycheck for so many of these families, and now to go 5 weeks, and they will miss tomorrow's paycheck. Even if they cut a deal right now, the vote's not going to happen till the weekend. You're still going to see that back pay doesn't come in maybe till late next week or early even the following week, because it just doesn't happen that fast.
Sure.
But it's very, very real for these families and these individuals. God bless them. Look, 90% of the airports in America are running great. These TSA agents and these TSOs, they're showing up for work. They're not getting paid. They understand their responsibility. God bless them. And the ones that are getting paid in the airports that are being backed up, they're under a tremendous amount of pressure and strain. And as that individual, he had been waiting hours, and he said, look, it's not their fault. He just wants to thank them that they're there. So it's a lot of pressure on the individual. It's all preventable. None of it should have happened in the first place. It's silly politics. We're basically back to, the initial negotiations they were talking about 4 weeks ago. So why they couldn't have, said, well, we have to put our own workers, prioritize them, and figure it out. I was a governor. I used to negotiate this stuff all the time. You start where you want to be. You slowly pull some things back. You lock everyone in the room, order a few pizzas, and you say, we're not going to leave till we figure it out. And that sounds glib, but it's exactly how it's done. Now that they want to go on recess, by the way, recess. Don't you love they call vacation recess, like they're a bunch of children? Like any 10-year-old, they don't want to miss recess either. So now all of a sudden they're running to make a deal. Now the good news is it looks like in the past couple hours, they're talking about not policy but wording. That's a good sign.
Okay.
So we're cautiously optimistic. But again, even at its best case scenario, maybe a vote Saturday, Sunday on the Senate. Then the House has to come back in and do what they need to do a few days later. So there's still a process here. We're finally getting somewhere. If it doesn't get done in the next 48 hours, we are really back to square one on this. And that's going to be really disappointing for every American looking to travel in the next coming weeks.
I also want to just ask you more broadly about staffing and retention, because obviously that's been a big issue that we've been talking about this week in the news. We've seen around 500 TSA workers quit since the shutdown. This, of course, is the third partial shutdown in just the past year. What do we need to see happen in order to keep people happy in these jobs and attract more?
You've hit the exact issue that we are most concerned about in the industry, is that we are disincentivizing people from entering, whether it's air traffic control, which was the big issue, one of the bigger issues in the October shutdown, TSA agents today. We're telling folks, well, maybe you shouldn't come into this industry because we don't know if you're going to get paid. It's the worst thing you can do. At the same time, the Department of Transportation and the FAA are rebuilding billions of dollars in new technology to make the air traffic control system safer, more efficient, more responsive. That's a really good thing, but you got to have people there. So the Congress isn't backing the play, if you will, of their own investments. So it's very disenfranchising. There's another good piece of news here. There is a bill or two that sit in Congress, haven't really seen the light of day, that says, by the way, if this were to happen again, in future government shutdowns, TSA and air traffic control, they get paid no matter what. We're going to take the American people out of our political games. We're going to stop using it as leverage and understand that the kind of populism politics of the day demand a new set of rules. Now, will that move forward? I think it's up to the American people. I think it's folks calling their congressmen, calling their senators, saying, by the way, make sure this never happens again. You have the bills in front of you. Vote yes on them. Costs you nothing.
Right.
All it costs you is not penalizing the American people for leverage. So good opportunities there. Let's hope that Congress can get their act together and seize the day, so to say.
Order the pizza.
Order the pizza. Get it done.
Sununu, thank you so much.